All right, Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites. Come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of the daughter of Babylon, aka America. But first and foremost, I want to say call Halayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakachdash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, 7, 13, 19. Where I learned this truth from and who rule well. Salutations to the Bakiyar, the elect, the 144,000. That's 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel consist of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America. The 144,000 being the governing body within the 1/3. The rest of the 1/3 comprises elect men, women, and children. Shalom to those Israelites scattered due to the diaspora and also the triangular trade. So our people come looking like different ethnicities, having various complexions. So this is not a black thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just Hebrew Israelites. Shalom to those that died in this truth. It says the dead should be raised up first. Those that will be accompanying Yahweh Shah on his return, including our King Masha, who is King David. And as always, it's an honor and privilege, honor and blessing to continue to do this work. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for answering my prayers and permitting me to do such. Baba Kashah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah allowed us to be an edifying camp to at least one member of the elect, which today's topic going into prophecy, right? So Yahweh Shah Raktazah be edifying. I don't know how long it's gonna be, so strap in your seatbelt. It's gonna be good. I hear my Deadpool voice. This is gonna be good. Nah. Well, it's always good when you're discussing prophecy, saying things before it happens, man. According to the scriptures, according to the doctrine of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, man. That was given on to men, but yet and still that doctrine is still Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah's, man. It's not unless you're giving credit onto him for opening your eyes and understanding and glorifying him, opening your eyes and understanding, man. You know? And it just so happens that he gave that doctrine to the apostles and the elders before them and the men on down to Great Millstone. You know? So as I get everything queued up, I'm gonna run a parallel between Martazarium or Mizraim, which is ancient Egypt, comparable to the New Egypt, not the one directly south of the land of Israel, but I'm speaking about in the allegory sense. Egypt, according to the scriptures, meaning the house of bondage, which now is America. It says 10 plagues sent on Egypt. Salaki, sent on ancient Egypt. Right? It says blood, frogs, lice, flies, livestock disease, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and death of the firstborn, man. Which is Exodus, chapter 7 through 12. So we're going to go the plagues of Egypt, Martazarium. The first plague was waters to blood, or waters turned to blood, right? So this is Exodus chapter 7, verse 20. It says, and Moses, or Moshe, and Aaron did so as Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt, man.
Anybody get a cup of coffee?
Look like I got a couple bucks.
I'm freezing, man.
I'm freezing too.
Trying to get a cup of coffee.
I wish I had some money to get myself a cup of coffee.
Huh?
I wish I had some money to get myself a cup of coffee.
I don't know. I'm trying to get some.
We in the same boat, man. It says, and there was blood throughout all the land of Madazarim, man. Which that was a plague that through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Moses was allowed to perform. Right? So going to AI commentary, it says judgment on their economy. The Nile, right? Because that's the river that flows the opposite direction of all rivers in the world. It says the Nile was their lifeline, and Yahweh attacked the very artery of Madazarim's power. So that's what you're going to see in here in America. The Most High is going to attack the artery of America's power, man, which is that dollar, and also his witchcraft, which he used to deceive the nations, right? It says symbolic of death and guilt. Blood everywhere equals a visual indictment for the bloodshed of Yasharahla, for putting our people into captivity, man, which all you heathen nations have done. You know? And it just so happens right now we're in the hands of these damn devils, man. These Edomites. You know, and I don't want you to think that I'm stingy. I just ain't got it today, man. Even if he was a brother, I ain't got it today, man. I'll have it maybe y'all start Ratazah a little later. No, but I barely got 2 pennies to rub together right now, man, which is all fine and dandy with me. You know? Which, you know, I'm not looking for a way out, man. I'm not looking to save my life. You know? And saving your life is trying to go back into the world and accomplish something. I could do that in the truth. I just ain't got to tell everybody about it. You know, I could go get a trucking license and go train for a transportation company and still do videos and still do the work. I was on house arrest. How about that? Still doing the work, man. I used to go to this rehab program or whatever because I wanted to get these drinking demons off me. I decided to go myself. You know, after praying for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to take it away from me, and he directed my steps to do such. And I don't think I'll ever drink again. Except, you know, the Passover. But nonetheless, when I went to rehab, I didn't have no downtime. I had to be at a certain place, at a certain location, where my pinger would go off, man. So even at that, the Most High made it a way that I would walk down the block a little ways to like a shopping center and still set up camp and did the fucking work, man. All while, numerous times, the Fresno Police Department would go to the actual camp where I was teaching at, and they would just sit there, man. I didn't know if I was gonna go to jail or go to hell. But I prayed to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to protect me, and fast forward to 2020, going into 2026, I'm here now. A lot of, man, that's the reason why I named my channel what I named it, man. Because I'm here through prayer. I'm doing this work through prayer. My prayers being answered. And I'm thankful for it, man. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Ratazah, the Most High, give me a cleaner heart so I could nip all the past in the bud concerning a lot of you men that I perceive ain't right. And if you are right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua forgive me, man. And that's between me and him. You know, because I'm the one that has to sit before him and answer to him. Why I did this, why I did that. And my decisions are back through prayer, through casting lot, through analyzing, going over the scriptures, asking Yahweh Hashem Yahushua every single day to lead me into the right direction, man. You know? So all you individuals out there that are starting to feel worried, I was at that point of time. It was last summer, actually, in 2024. I was going off the handles, man. I was getting super demons on me. I was leaving stupid comments, you know, which a lot of it, if not all of it, was true as far as the situation that happened with me in GMS and the camp in San Francisco. I don't have a reason to fucking lie, man. Despite, you know, individuals, the first thing they want to say when they want to discredit somebody and say, oh, he's a known liar. I don't lie about shit, man. I always say the truth is stranger than fiction. You know? But regardless, you know, you got to put your Yahweh Hashem Yahushua first, man. Fuck a job, man. I haven't had a job, a real fucking job, since I worked at Amazon, man. And that was in 2019. I had quit in just leaving the winter of 2020 due to that COVID shit, which I didn't catch COVID, man. I didn't catch tetanus. You know? Maybe I might have thought I did, but I didn't. Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has always been with me, man. That's why we didn't go to jail that night when you decided to beat up on people, man. Because there was elect in that paddy wagon, man. Well, you know, hey, I could be deceived. But if I'm doing what's right and walking righteously, then so be it. If I'm doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, but yet deceived, then so be it. It's a good thing to be deceived and still and doing righteousness. Why go back to the world and be a wicked ass nigga, man? That's not in my DNA, man. It never has been. Now I hanged around with wicked ass niggas. You know, but that was just the Most High using certain situations, right, to build my discernment on shit. Because you're gonna need discernment when all hell breaks loose. My whole life is geared toward this day that's coming. You know, and Yahweh shall Ratazah be a martyr. One of the first in line. Besides, you know, anybody want to go before me that's upper in rank, then, you know, I got to stay back, because I'm not going to enter in a door before someone that's over rank or higher rank. You know, so I'll wait to, you know, all the other high ranking brothers in this truth, you know, get their glory, and then I'll be, you know, first to raise my hand to put my head in the guillotine, man, and die for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. And he knows that. And if he doesn't, then he could kill me and allow me to get what I wanted since I was a kid, man. And going through hardships and going through certain situations. You know, regardless of whatever people think, man, I don't care. That's who I believed that was with me, man. Because I could have clocked out a long time ago and I wouldn't have gave a shit. So to fear death, what is death? And that's what I'm going to tell to you individuals that are getting weak, man. Yeah, oh yeah, concerning when I was bugging out and getting those demons on me, I had to take a break from the truth, man. And if I was a wicked ass nigga, then I would never have start doing the work back again. But I took maybe about 1 or 2 months, 3 months, 4 maybe, around there. Maybe between January and maybe March, and then really got to it back in maybe June, which was a week going into when Israel attacked Iran, but I already had it planned that I was going to go out that week anyway, and I was praying on it. I kept the Passover. I wasn't able to keep it the same month as, GMS, because, I was traveling and, I didn't have a location to keep it. I was living in the car. But through that time of me getting myself back together, man, and praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? He allowed me to come back and still teach the right thing, his word, to still have the same commitment, the guillotine, to still have the same for lack of better words, compassion in my heart and mercy in my heart to forgive. If those that did wrong, and you niggas did wrong because you wouldn't always be apologizing. If those that did wrong really sincerely apologize and not none of that bullshit, I'm talking about go out there and work by the sweat of your brow, to get something together as a gift offering to apologize, then it's all good. And even if you don't, it's still all good, because I'm gonna get mine by Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. All the slander, the way brothers was acting in the camp, being rebellious, saying the shit that they wasn't gonna do and was gonna do. Lying, just being a fucking demon, and then got the nerve to say that and try to flip it all on me. Something is wrong here. Wouldn't I be the Tracys? Wouldn't I be the Kaylee-Yallas? Wouldn't I be the Bonnie-Yalls or all the other wicked niggas that fell out, man? No, because I'm sincere. My house is built on a strong foundation. My house was always built on Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But I just wanted to get this out of the way. What I'm trying to say and relay to anyone who sees this video is this work in Yahweh Shem Yahushua is your main focus. It's what you're supposed to do, man. This is the reason why you were given that breath. When you breathe and your body receives oxygen to go to your brain to keep you alive. Why do you think you even got that, man? It's to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua in truth and sincerity, man. And he's gonna add whatever the fuck he wanna add on to you, man. Look at this shit. And I didn't even buy this car, but I wanted this car hella bad. And somebody bought it for me. I didn't buy that shit. This garment I got on, somebody got it for me. This phone, somebody got it. Oh, I had used student aid for this. I ain't gonna front. I used student aid for this. No, but I only got it for the truth. So there's no excuse, man. If you have faith and trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you'll go from being homeless, living in the streets, and he'll, put you on the incline one time. Now, do I give a fuck about this car? Hell fucking no, man. I only care about this truth. Y'all should already know that by now. That's the only thing I talk about. I'm laughing because it's kind of like when you go to the Passover, you smile because you made it there, man. You made it to the next Passover. And you're delighted that the Most High is putting the Spirit on you to do the righteous acts or perform the righteous acts, man. So what I'm trying to say is put your trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. Straight up. But back to the lesson. It says symbolic of death and guilt, blood everywhere. A visual indictment or indictment for the bloodshed of Yasharahla. Martin Overlay, Babylon, America. And this is co-pilot saying Babylon is America. Or did I type it into the Oh, okay, I did. Slacky on that. But regardless, it says Babylon, America, water systems polluted, toxic rivers, red tide, chemical spills, early previews, ultimately prophecy. Revelation 8:8. Yeah, if I'm, and it kind of got me, I'm wasting my time. How would I be wasting my time if me doing this is all through praying anyway? I pray to do this. How is that wasting your time if your prayers are being answered? Then you got to say that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is wasting his time, man. And really, a lot of you niggas, you want me to be a 2/3 so bad so you won't get punished for all the actions that you committed against me. The hell that you put me through for no fucking reason. The slander, the lies. I could admit that I was drinking too much, and I could admit that I was trying to quit before I even came into the truth. But you could admit the example that you laid forth and laid down wasn't the right example. That's why there was so much turmoil in the beginning. And then you had, it is what it is, though. It's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's movie. But this is Revelation chapter 8, verse 8. It says, the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And I'm sure that mountain cast into the sea that was burning was probably like, maybe an asteroid. Because an asteroid might hit this motherfucker. And, in consequence, it's going to cause tsunamis, man. Which is going to destroy a lot of these merchant ships and those ships that are not built to take on those heavy waters. You just need to look at where these aircraft carriers are, where they think something might hit the earth, man. But ultimately it's going to be those nuclear missiles. It's Revelation chapter 16, verse 3. It says, and the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man. And there's an unseen world where you have angels all around us, man. You got angels on the left hand and you got angels on the right hand, man. So certain angels are set up to do certain things, and this particular one was to bring the plague of, contaminating the waters. It says, and every living soul died in the sea. And that's why it says in the scriptures, Yahweh Shai, in the kingdom, he's going to have to purify the waters, man. Which I believe there's a particular tree. I forget the name of the tree. It's in, I believe, the Old Testament. I'm pretty sure I could Google it, but I'm trying to, let me Google it. Because I didn't want to fuck up AI, but I could still Google it. So according to AI, it says the primary tree known for purifying water is the Moringa oleifera, often called the miracle tree, whose seeds contain proteins that act as natural coagulants, clumping dirt and bacteria together for easy removal, making it a low-cost solution for clean drinking water in developing regions. Other trees like eucalyptus help by drawing up large amounts of water and releasing it through transpiration, while some non-flowering trees, pine and ginkgo, have xylem that can act as natural seeds for basic filtration. So going to verse 4, it says, and the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And that's what's going to happen to America, man. So what AI said about Revelation chapter 8, verse 8 through 9, it says, a great mountain burning with fire cast into the sea, third part of the sea, becomes blood. Revelation 16, 3 and 4, seas and rivers become as blood. Babylon's or America's infrastructure and comfort are going to be hit the same way Egypt's were at the resource level. Next precept, this is the book of Exodus. Chapter 8. Verse 2, it says, and if you refuse to let them go, I'll just start at the top. Who am I fooling? This is Exodus chapter 8, verse 1, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. And this is the same, in this case, in America's case, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is not telling these damn devils to let us go, man. Yahweh Shai is going to snatch us out of his hand, all while he's being fucking destroyed. It says, and if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thy house, and go into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy ovens, and into thy kneading throws. And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. Now just imagine Yahweh Shem Yahushua showing his power against these heathen nations in that manner, man. That would be awesome. And he could do it. And he's done it already. He's an awesome power, man. Not Austin, but awesome power. You're going back to AI, it says judgment on their cleanliness and comfort. Their own houses and food prep get polluted, mocking their gods. Egypt had frog-associated deities, fertility, life, which I didn't know that. Let me read that again. It says, Egypt had frog-associated deities, which represented fertility and life. Yahweh turns their gods into a nuisance and stench. That's almost the equivalent of a plague hitting India with rats. It says, Martin Overlay, Babylon is big on comfort and sanitation. Well, not really. You got places like Shit Alley. You know? Yet plagues, literal infestations, biohazards, show it to be spiritually filthy. Spiritually, Babylon is already full of unclean spirits. Revelation chapter 16, verse 13, 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of, which, you know, this is talking about, wait. Oh, it is kind of on point. I'll read Revelation 16 and 13 first. Uh, 16 verse 13. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, which those unclean spirits is dealing with its religion, which is the Vatican, its financial, which is London, and its military, which is Washington, D.C. That's representative of those 3 unclean frogs. It says, out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So the dragon would be America. The beast would be NATO and the EU, those European nations. And the false prophet would be the Vatican. Right? So let's see what AI says. It says 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. So the physical frogs in Egypt foreshadow unclean doctrines and propaganda possessing Babylon. You know? And you know that propaganda with their military, they think they can never be destroyed. They fool the world with their religions. You had this Muslim reverting to Christianity. That's just another form of Satanism, man. And then, of course, they have the whole world believing in their financial system, which is just a bunch of weights with false balances, man. You know, the 3rd plague, lice or gnats. Which is Exodus chapter 8, verse 16. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. You know, and what? Well, they already got lice. The Most High already put that plague on them, man. Right? It says, and they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Mardazarium, man. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So in that kingdom, they were trying to outshine the Heavenly Father, man, with their witches and warlocks. That's the reason why in the Bible tells you to put witches and warlocks, to put soothsayers, fortune tellers, palm readers to death, man. To put witches to death. But in this society, they glorify them, man. That's why right now it's big time for these retarded motherfuckers to get their palm read, man. Not knowing that there's death angels around there jotting everything that they do down. Every wickedness you people do, the Most High is keeping record of it, man. And you're gonna have to pay when those thermonuclear missiles get shot off in the air, man. And see yourself get left here in America and get burnt up. Or however means you're gonna go. It says, and the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of the Most High. And Pharaoh's mind was hardened, so the Most High can harden your mind. And that's what I perceive that's happening with a lot of you individuals. The Most High just hardened your mind. So you can't even see things for what it really is. And he hearkened not unto them as Yahweh had said. So going back to AI, it says humiliation plague. Even the dust turns against them. No peace in their skin, no rest. Right? It says breaks their witchcraft. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to break America's witchcraft, man. Because when you stinking ass Edomites came through what do they call it? The Great Blue Shining Sea or some shit. You were getting kicked out. That's the story that we heard. You were getting kicked out for being persecuted for being nothing but a bunch of witches and warlocks. And you brought that shit here. It says, even the dust turns against them. No peace in their skin, no rest. Breaks their witchcraft. The magicians are cut off. They can't fake this one. That's good. Hey, AI be fucking hilarious, man. It says, modern overlay. Babylon science, which goes back to, which their pharmakia goes back to the word witchcraft. And their science ain't nothing but witchcraft too. Which even AI says science magic. And then his miracles deal with his technology. It says modern overlay, Babylon science magic, technology, medicine, surveillance, can't stop what Yahweh sends. Agendas, vaccines, biotech, etc. can't deal with judgments that hit on a microscopic level, staffed by the Most High's will. Sometimes you might think AI isn't the truth, man. Fourth plague, swarms, often translated as flies. Same chapter. This is Exodus. Well, I'll just keep going. This is Exodus chapter 8, verse 20. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, which I got my ass up early. Well, I was already up. I've been up since, probably like 8 last night. Got up, did a video, got ready, went to the gym, had like a damn near a 4-hour workout, and came straight here. That's why the sun is not even really out yet. Let's just say I traded my drinking time for the truth. Because the only time I really would drink would be at night just to go to sleep, man, after a fucking exhausting ass day. That's why every time, brothers would, try to FaceTime me, it'd be late at night, man. Right when I was about to go to sleep. Verse 20, it says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and if I did anything or committed any sin that I'm not aware of, that put me in this predicament, hey, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Salakia, man. If I gotta pay for it, you already know I will. I'll do anything for him, man. I'll do anything for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. If you put it in the mouth of, another man to say, oh, you got to do this, that, and the third, I'll do it. It's done. If it ain't nothing but to please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man, because I'm at a point where I've been told that I'm this, that, and the third. I'd rather just die for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah in the guillotine, man. Which has always been the end goal for me. Hey, not everybody's gonna have that same spirit, man, and I understand that. A lot of you're gonna fold up when the speed get put on you, man. The speed was already put on me, and I stood tall. I'm still out here, man. 13 years later. It says, and stand before Pharaoh, lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. Right. So I perceive there's going to be a time where I'll stop talking about the past, and the Most High is just going to prove that I'm one of his, man. First, he was showing me. But he's gonna prove who his elect are, man. And it's all good, man. If the Most High prove that and opens your eyes to it, and I'm not saying I'm of the elect, I'm saying if I am of the elect, because Paul said don't dare not make yourself for that number, so I'm not going to try to make myself for that number, but if I am and the Most High proves it, it's all good, man. I'm not going to be hunting you like a lot of you. I'm going to hunt you down and kill you with spiritual power. Nah, man. It's all good. We're in a movie, That's just what has to happen in the movie. It says, else if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies. And I hate fucking flies, man. So I know them stinking ass fucking Sudanese hated them too, man. Well, I don't know. They probably did like them. They probably had the fly all in their lip and mouth and cleaning their teeth and shit. Worshiping them. But me personally, man, I hate flies, man. Sometimes, man, if I could, if there was a fly in the house, man, I would want to burn the whole house down. So I only could imagine a whole swarm of flies just pestering a motherfucker, man. which the Most High is going to do the same thing to here in Babylon. It says, and also the ground whereon they are, and I will sever in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there. So the Most High made a distinction, which he's going to do in these times. He's going to make a distinction between those that serve him and those that don't. And if I'm one of the ones that don't, then let me be put to death, man. Straight up. You know? Otherwise, let me be righteous. Either or. Yeah, either or, man. I'd rather be righteous and do the right thing and serve the Heavenly Father, man. To the best of my ability, man. My ability is not your ability. My gift is not your gift. You know? It says, to the end thou mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. Right. And he's going to do that in these times with those that are of the elect and those that are not, man. When all hell break loose, a lot of you're going to fold the fuck up, man. You already see it. I even had to rebuke those damn demons, man. But I know through experience that, you know, getting a job or getting work is not going to keep me from doing the work, man. If I would have to work all day, then I'll come at night. If I had to work all night, I'll come in the morning. If I had to fucking drive a truck and I didn't have no downtime, well shit, the lot lizards are gonna hear the word, man. There ain't no excuse. If I gotta teach in front of some lot lizards and tell them to stop doing what they doing, then so be it. A lot of you don't got nothing. You don't got no back. You never stood for nothing, man. That's really what it is. You never stood for nothing. It says, and Yahweh did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarms of flies. Going back to AI, it says targeted judgment. Yahweh shows he can plague one group and protect another right next door. And that's what he's going to do in these times, man. You know, he's gonna bless those that really serve him. No, hey, to me, it's just a test. All this shit is just a test. You know? Are you going to fail or are you going to pass it, man? And my test entailed me being removed from the camp. However means it happened, man. Whether if I got kicked out or whether I left, I was removed by the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's a test. And like I say, how many of you would continue to do the work? None of you. A very small few. Actually, none. Because a lot of you, well, yeah, there's a very small few that will continue to do the work, but the majority of you, yeah, you might continue to do the work, but you're a complete demon. You start changing the doctrines, you start thinking you're King David, you start smelling yourself, man. Start smelling your ass, man. You don't repent. It says Yahweh shows he can plague one group and protect another right next door. Psychological warfare. The land is corrupted by the swarms, mental torment, not just physical. Modern overlay. Specific regions of America will be hit harder while the elect are shielded. You know, and I always remember Apostle Tahar saying that in certain places it's going to be business as usual. This is Psalms chapter 91 verse 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place, which is this truth, of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. So, you know, now that Yahweh Shai has gotten the glory for us, that's who we put our trust in. That's who I put my trust in, man. You know? I don't put my trust in anything else besides him. I don't got no guns. I don't got no knives. I don't got no bomb making material. I don't got no drones. Well, I do got some knives, but it's just like kitchen shit, you know, cutlery or whatever they call it, you know? And I barely got that. I'll be cooking that. I like my meat kind of crispy, so, you know, sometimes the knife might break trying to cut it up, but, you know, that's how I like it, man. I like it well done. And a little bit, you know, broiled. You know, that's just how I like it. And the outer coating will be like that, but the middle will be, you know, real tender, man. But I ain't got nothing but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's the only one I'm relying. That's the only thing I'm relying on, man. I don't even got a steady job yet. You know? Which I was gonna make a video. You brothers that are looking for work, you should go hit up the unions. I know there's a union, the Teamsters, one, you know, like the Teamsters, they're all over the place. And even here in Las Vegas, if you ain't got to work, well, I know you got to pay like $80 a month for dues. But if you trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and keep at it, eventually you'll be able to take the apprenticeship test, pass the apprenticeship test, and they're gonna pay you $30 to $39 an hour, man, until you get to what they call a journeyman, or a 360 worker, and I believe they pay $360 a day. You know, if you're on that level, and that's not including overtime, man. You know, so therefore, there's people that brag about, oh, I made $2,000 or $3,000. I made this much thousand, or I made $140,000 a year. And all you're doing is just setting up the conventions, man. I like it because I like building and destroying, like an engineer or a curator or something. That's the reason why I got into programming. I like building shit. That's the reason why I got into holistics. I like healing things. You know? That's just something that, you know, a little something brothers could think about. It says, I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver me from the snare, which is a trap of the fowler, which is a bird, a catcher, and from the noisome pestilence, you know, the disease. It says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy buckler and shield. You know, he's going to protect you by taking you up into those ships. Also giving the angels charge over you. It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. That arrow that flieth by day is the missiles. And they always say nighttime is the most dangerous time. You know, which that's the reason why you see a lot of transients sleep during the day. It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness at the microscopic level, these certain diseases. How many of you got COVID? I did it. I didn't get the shot because I know better. It says, and a lot of you niggas that call yourselves Israelites, how you know you ain't gonna drop dead from that COVID shot when, you know, they begin to start activating them, man? And all the people that I've ever talked to that got that, including my own dad, they say they ain't getting none of that shit again no more. You niggas was part of a big psyop. Now it's an afterthought, the whole COVID shot and COVID, man. I don't even think they'll flag this video or anything for that matter because of all the things that came about of it. It was all bullshit. And you niggas fell into the bullshit. And what does it say in the scriptures? It says, if it was possible, it would deceive the very elect. And we ain't even got to that yet. And you niggas have already been deceived. It says, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday, at the peak of this man's kingdom, he's going to be destroyed by nuclear destruction. And while he's being destroyed by nuclear destruction, the Most High, he's going to have the elect and the chariots watching down on America from an area view, watching all you people burn up, getting hit. It says 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. The flame, the destruction, the hell is not going to come nigh the elect. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. And that's the elect looking outside the ship's windows. Watching you people burn, man. So going back to AI, it says the vision is spiritual now. Those with the truth versus those in gross darkness. Fifth plague, death of livestock, which Esau, the Most High's already putting the spirit on him to kill his own livestock, to euthanize and cull, right? Going to Exodus. Chapter 9, and I'm going to start at the top. It says, then Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus saith Yahweh, the power of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. And this time we're not saying that, we're not singing that song, man. We're not telling this damn devil to let us go. We're telling him he's about to be destroyed, put in slavery, and then exterminated, and never to exist again. So this time, for these people, the Most High ain't gonna have the same mercy. Actually, he promised them no mercy. Let my people go that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go and withhold them still, behold, the hand of Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Which I don't know what that means. I haven't. Let me look it up. Murrain. Matter of fact, let me look it up in that. That's the word murrain. Early 14th century, murrain, disease or plague among people or animals or both. Hey, the Most High is already doing that here in America, man. You got swine flu, you got bird flu, avian flu. You got all these different diseases that affect these livestock, foot and mouth disease. You know, one of the biggest things that I had to deal with selling plants was, you know, a lot of them had diseases on them, man. And then one of the hardest things is selling the plant during a drought. But the Most High was with me, man. So going back to Exodus, verse 4, it says, and Yahweh shall sever between the cattle of Yasha'Allah and the cattle of Mardazarium, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Yasha'Allah's. And that's how the Most High is going to deal with the elect in these times, man. It says, and Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow Yahweh shall do this thing in the land. And Yahweh did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Mardazarium died. But of the cattle of the children of Yasha'Allah died not one. Going back to AI commentary, says economic collapse. Cattle equal wealth. Agriculture, transport, sacrifices. Yahweh hits their stock market, and Yahweh's about to hit the American stock market as he's doing right now. We already in the as they say, a soft collapse. Targeted again, distinguishes between his people and theirs. Modern overlay, food systems, disruptions, supply chain collapse, mass animal deaths, early examples. Ultimately, famine, judgment. So this is going to 2nd Esdras. Fucking cold out here, huh? Shit, I thought Fresno was cold. That's cool. I like the cold. I'll fuck with the cold. I can't fuck with these hot ass summers though. That's why I'm glad. I'm fortunate. Y'all show right to I could go back to Cali during the summertime. But this is 2nd Esdras, or I probably won't even be in the. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Jumping down to 11 and 12. But I will bring them with the mighty hand and the stretched out arm, and smite Egypt. Now it's not talking about Mardazarium, now it's talking about America, with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land, singular, thereof. So the entirety of America is going to get wiped off the face of the earth. It's going to look like a shit stain. And we're going to always say, this is where Esau, this is where the so-called white man ruled. This shit stain right here. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. I'm going to read it prophetically. It says, America shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Shai shall bring upon it. And it says, Yeah. And then it quotes Revelation 6:5-6, dealing with the black horse and famine. So I'm not going to get that specific one. But going to the next scripture, this is Exodus. This is Exodus chapter 9, verse 8. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Mardazarium, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man. What the? Hold on. What is blains? A blain is a sore, blister, pustule, inflammatory swelling of the body. So it says, breaking forth with blains upon man, and upon beasts throughout all the land of Egypt, or Mardazarium. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. You know, and it's we're dealing with severe, and you can see it. You can see the scars in my face, man. But dealing with severe acne, I understand, man. It's a severe cystic acne. You know, it's very humbling, man. You know, it is very, very, very humbling, man. Especially when there was a point in time when you had beauty, where you were being complimented, having beautiful skin, man. It's almost like someone put a curse on me. I think it was this white bitch. She was mad. No, I'm just joking, man. It says, and the musicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. For the boil was upon the musicians and upon all the Mardazarians. And Yahweh hardened the mind of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh has spoken unto Moses. You know, so going back to AI, it says, judgment in their bodies. Yahweh marks them with painful infirmities. Breakdown of their priesthood magic class. They can't even present themselves. Mind you, boils and blains, they're all humiliating, man. You know, when I had them, I would just wear hoodies all the time, man. Shit. I'll try to hide myself from the world. And, you know, sometimes, you know, that spirit is kind of still on me, but, you know, I've been thinking that, you know, I'm going to start doing more face videos. Y'all want to see my face? You know, in my, was it Dave Chappelle when he played, damn, the nigga, that racist dude, when he had played the black racist character, man. He was at the Klan meetings, all, y'all want to see my face? Shit. It was so bad, you know, and, you know, I felt some type of such a way about it that even when I was doing music, I was like, man, I'm going to be the first masked rapper, man. Ain't no one ever going to see my face, and I'm just going to play on that. But anyway, going back to AI, it says, judgment in their bodies. Yahweh marks them with painful infirmities. Breakdown of their priesthood magic class. They can't even present themselves. Modern overlay. Outbreaks, incurable diseases, weird skin afflictions. And one of those weird skin afflictions was the monkeypox. Spiritual preview. Revelation 16:2, noisome and grievous sore on those with the mark of the beast, which that's dealing with cancer for those that get that microchip, man. The she-hip. It says the same boil plague motive reappears in latter-day America or Babylon. 7 plague, hell mixed with fire. Exodus 22 and 26. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch forth thy hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, or Martazarian, upon man, upon beast, and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Martazarian. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire rained along upon the ground, which I believe that's dealing with the lightning, because lightning ain't nothing but basically maybe I'll say electrical fire. Let me look it up real quick. Is lightning electrical fire? What type of electricity is lightning? A lightning is electrostatic discharge accompanied by the emission of visible light and other forms of electromagnetic radiation. In the early stages of development, air acts as an insulator between the positive and negative charges in the cloud and between the cloud and the ground. When the opposite charges build up enough, this insulating capacity of the air breaks down and there is a rapid discharge of electricity that we know as lightning, which, you know, that's Esau's scientific take on it, but we know that's of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the lightning bolts. It says, and Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Martazarian. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Martazarium since it became a nation. So in that time period, it's recorded history. It says, and the hail smote throughout all the land of Martazarium, all that was in the field, both man and beast, and the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Yasha'Allah were there no hail. So the Most High was performing weather warfare on those Sudanese, man, the modern day Sudanese, who are the ancient Egyptians. Going back to AI, it says elemental judgment. Fire and ice together show total control over the elements. Destroys agriculture and outdoor resources. Crops, servants, animals caught outside are destroyed. Modern overlay. Extreme weather, climate anomalies, freak storms, warm-ups. ultimately nuclear destruction fire from heaven over Babylon. Hell-sized destruction in spirit, which that hell that is going to rain on America is dealing with those nuclear warheads, man. It even gets the weight of a warhead right, man. This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 21. It says, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, which is those nuclear warheads, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of the hail, the nuclear war. For the plague thereof was exceeding great. It's going to be so great, it's going to cause the earth to rock to and fro like a drunkard when those nuclear missiles hit America, man. It says, hell in Martyrarium foreshadows thermal and kinetic destruction on America. The 8th plague, locusts. See, the Most High, he cracked his knuckles on Martyrarium, man. He cracked his knuckles and got to work. This is what happens when you mess with the children of Israel, man. This is Exodus chapter 10, verse 4. It says, else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth. And that's something that happened a couple years back to Mecca. They had a locust infestation, VIA, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. It says, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hell, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Martyrariums, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. And I'm going to jump down to verse 13. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Martyrarium, and Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over the land of Martyrarium and rested in all the coasts of Martyrarium. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Martyrarium. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against Yahweh your power and against you. So the Most High broke his ass down, man. showing his power, man. Little by little. Going back to AI, it says total economic strip. Whatever survived previous judgments now gets devoured. No recovery. There ain't gonna be no recovery here in America either. Multiplicative judgment. One plague sets up the next. Yahweh stacks them. Modern overlay. Economic stripping, inflation, shortages, land and resources bought out and devoured by elites. Spiritually tormenting forces. And it quotes Revelation chapter 3, verse 5. It says, locusts from the bottomless pit, which those locusts from the bottomless pit is dealing with those fighter jets back in World War I. And the bottomless pit represents Europe. The reason why it's bottomless because it has no resources, no natural resources. That's the reason why it was kind of skeptical and felt like it was in jeopardy when those resources were cut off via Russia. Now they're dependent on America to supply those resources, and America ain't gonna do nothing but try to steal everybody else's, man. Which he's over there in Panama. He wants the Panama Canal back. And that damn devil's in Venezuela because Venezuela holds, I think, the largest oil reserves. That just shows you who the wicked are, man. He's showing you he's the wicked. It says torment those without, I'm gonna skip that. You know, sometimes AI go off. It says the ninth plague, thick darkness. So this is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, chapter 10, verse 21. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Mardazarium, even darkness which may be felt. You can feel the darkness. It says, and Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Mardazarium 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Yasharallah had light in their dwellings. Commentary, AI, sensory and psychological plague, not just absence of light, a choking, oppressive darkness. And in these times, the Most High is going to be sending apparitions, ghosts, man, he going to open up the unseen world on you people, man. It says symbol of spiritual blindness. Egypt's worldview is literally shut off, which that's not what it represents. Modern overlay, Isaiah chapter 60 verse 2, darkness covers the earth, gross darkness the people, which is wickedness, through, ideologies. It says Babylon's or America's media, education, religion, saturate people in ignorance of Yahweh and his laws. End time literal darkness also likely, which it is going to be likely. Disruptions of power, celestial signs, nuclear winter. The AI's on point. Now this is what's going to really hit these people, man, at the Most High, when the Most High does this, because he says he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before, right? So going to Exodus chapter 11, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, and Moses said, thus saith Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Mardazarium, and all the firstborn in the land of Mardazarium shall die. But the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill. And in my mind, I just laugh because I could picture it like a movie, and then like the cut scene would show the maidservant behind the mill, like, oh, and you're part of the audience, and you're like, oh yeah, the Most High about to get that bitch. You know, it says, and all the firstborn of beast, and there shall be a great cry throughout the land of Mardazarium, such as there was none like it. Neither shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Yasha'Allah, which means he is prince of the power, shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Because, you know, despite us being both dark-hued people, we have different spirits. And the Most High, through his power, is showing you the difference. Going to Exodus chapter 12, verse 29, it says, and it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Mardazarium, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, which would have inherited the blessing, right? He was the first line of inheritance. On to the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Mardazarians, and there was a great cry in Mardazarium. For there was not a house where there was not one dead. And hey, you so-called white people that go back to the line of Esau, you're going to experience the power of our God, man. And there ain't going to be shit you can do about it, because he's controlling your every move anyway. There ain't no such thing as free will. AI commentary says, direct strike at the next generation in royal line. Pharaoh's heir dies, no future security. Payback for killing Hebrew sons. Which, let's go there. Let's go to this is first Exodus chapter 1 verse 15 to see why there was retribution, recompense. It says, and the king of Mardazarium spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Sifra, and the name of the other Pua. And he said, when you do the office of a wait, let me see. Yeah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, right? Because unlike this dumbass white mother Edomite, you're supposed to be standing when you're giving birth, so gravity can help you push the baby out, man. Not being hopped up on all these different medications that's gonna give the baby all types of complications when it gets older, man. It says, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared the Most High, and did not as the king of Mardazarium commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Mardazarium called for the midwives and said unto them, Why had ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? But the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Mardazarian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore the Most High dealt with the midwives. Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives. And the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared the Most High, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Going back to AI, it says measure for measure judgment. Passover covering, Israelite houses marked with lamb's blood, a foreshadowing of Yahweh's sacrifice, which is the truth. Martin overlaid the elites of America, their heirs, their power structures, all scheduled for destruction. Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 49, it says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is sent over thee. It says Yahweh sending plagues on America for pride and wickedness. Going to Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. It says, Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with thermonuclear fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. It says plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine, America burned with fire. Babylon, America receiving Mardazarium like plagues. Scripture already links end-time judgment to Egypt and Babylon spiritually. Spiritually, Egypt and Sodom, which I ain't bring this scripture out in a minute. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, and their dead bodies, and that's Israelites not knowing the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, not knowing who they are, so they're in a dead state, shall lie in the street of the great city. That great city represents America, which spiritually is called Sodom. And the reason why it's called Sodom is because of homosexuality, man, and that LGBT bullshit. And Egypt is an allegory for the house of bondage, where also our Yahweh Shai was crossed out or crucified, man. They crossed him out, a so-called black man. He would identify himself as a Israelite from the tribe of Judah if he was here today, and he would be in a lot of you gonna hate me when I say this, man. If Yahweh Shai was here today, he would be in Great Millstone, man. Which I don't got a problem with saying that, because I know that to be the truth. This is, it says, going back to AI, it says, great city spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, ties to slavery, perversion, and idolatry. Plagues on modern Babylon, Egypt. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now. And his people is dealing with the elect. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of America, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite America with plagues as before. And the as before is dealing with what we have been reading in Exodus, the same thing that he did to Martezarium, which is an allegory for house of bondage, Egypt, or Egypt is an allegory for the house of bondage. It's the same thing that he's going to do right here in America, man. It says, and will destroy all the land thereof. He's going to completely destroy America, man. It says, America shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. It says, Yahweh says he will smite Egypt with plagues as before and destroy all the land thereof. Revelation chapter 18. Hey, AI has made the Most High is so cold, man. Hey, this AI has made no excuse not to do the work, man. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, which is the elect going into the ships, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities, her sins upon sins. Jumping down to verse 8, it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. And that's a reoccurring pattern that this place is going to be destroyed. So, of course, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to make good on his word, as he's a man that shall not lie. Going back to AI, it says the same pattern, water systems, economy, livestock, weather, bodies, crops, and firstborn, leadership, future are targeted. Yahweh shows a difference, protection for his elect versus total breakdown for the rest. Just like Martezarium would not let Yasha Allah go, America doesn't want to let Jake go spiritually, socially, economically, so the plagues intensify. It says other plagues Yahweh will unleash beyond Egypt: sword, famine, pestilence, and beast. This is Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 21. Fucking cold, bro. It says, for thus saith Yahweh, how much more when I send my four sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. And that's what he's going to do to you 2/3, man. And Yahushua, Ratazar, I'm not of the 2/3. I'd rather be of the 1/3. The doorkeeper, man. It says, four sword judgment: sword, famine, and noisome beast, and pestilence. 2nd Ezra. They got some things in 2nd Ezra. chapter 15, verse 5, it says, Behold, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And then jumping down to verse 57, it says, Thy children shall die of hunger. So a lot of your children are going to starve to death, man. That's why we weren't tripping when they were doing the government shutdowns and threatening to cut off the EBT. Because we knew and know that's going to happen. A lot of you are going to die of famine, man. And thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains, because a lot of you are going to flee to the mountains, shall die of hunger. There ain't even going to be no food up there, man. Where are you going to get the food at? And eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. For very hunger of bread and thirst of water. A lot of you are going to experience the dinner table at the Donner Party. Right? If you don't know about the Donner Party, look it up. It says, Thou as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues again. So, going back to AI, it says sword, civil war, foreign invasion, martial law, gang violence, internal and external, famine, supply chain breaks, food, deserts, price spikes, crop failure, forced austerity and rationing, pestilence, engineered diseases plus divine plagues no lab can decode, beast, ecological imbalance, animals attacking but also beasts as symbolic, militarized police, robotic weapon systems, etc. It's nuclear fire and global destruction. Right? This is Malachi. Chapter 4, verse 1, it says, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as a oven, and all that Slacky, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of armies, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, beginning or end, dealing with your offspring. 2 Peter's, now this is a reoccurring theme, so it has to be true. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10, but the day of Yahweh Shai will come as a thief in the night when the world least expects it, because they're not expecting it, man. They're not looking for it. You got to be looking for something to be expecting it. It's like standing in the watchtower and you see a truck coming up the road. Okay, you expect it to be at the gate soon. It says, in the which the heavens shall pass away with the great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. And that's talking about the nuclear destruction, man. And I guess AI got a theme for Revelation 18. But this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. It says, Therefore shall plagues come in one day. It's only going to take an hour to completely wipe America off the face of the earth. Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city America, that number one superpower, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. It's only going to take an hour to destroy this motherfucker, man. Just an hour. See, they ain't got a weapon to, they ain't got no weapon to negate prophecy. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Now, this particular smith is dealing with the nuclear scientists, man, that have been commissioned to make such weapons, which these weapons really have the name of waster. These thermonuclear weapons, these missiles, these bombs, right? And that bringeth forth the instrument for his work. And I have created the waster, which is a nuclear missile, to destroy, and it's going to destroy America. Going back to AI, it says, missiles and nuclear devices are modern hell with fire, utterly consuming global impact. America's pride is military might. Oh, Slakia. America's pride in military might becomes the very channel of her burning. Also, spiritual plagues of delusion. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, it says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. And that's the reason why the masses of you people are bugged out, man. That's the Most High sending a strong delusion onto you. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. That's all you people care about is pleasures, man. And things that are not convenient. This is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the mind of this people basically retarded or fat. They make their ears heavy and shut their eyes. Lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Going back to AI, it says, this is the plague that comes before all others. Minds locked in lies, unable to repent. It explains why even as plagues increase, most people double down instead of turning around. Etymology and breakdown of Almighty, Shaidia, and demon-like power. It says Almighty in Hebrew, El Shaidia. It says Key Hebrew, the Most High Power, Mighty One, often translated Shaitia, Almighty. Genesis chapter 17. Verse 1, it says, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, so he was 99 years old, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am almighty power, El Shaddai. Walk before me and be thou perfect. He also says it in Exodus. And, you know, they knew that God, Yahweh, back then, man. This is Exodus chapter 6, verse 3. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of El Shaddai. But by my name Yahweh was I not known to them. So by his name Yahweh, which means he exists or he is, he wasn't known to them. He was known as that terrible demon-like power, man, El Shaddai. Etymology angles of Shaddai. Scholars discuss several possible roots. GMS style breakdown focuses on destructive power from Shaddad or Saddad, meaning to devastate, spoil, ruin, lay waste. This lines up with Yahweh as the one who breaks nations, cities, and empires. Thus, Shaddai, the devastator, the terrible one, he that destroys. Other scholarly angles for completeness from Shad, breast, provider, nourisher, less used in GMS circles, from Akkadian Shadu, mountain, God of the mountain. In a prophetic judgment heavy reading, Shaddai is best understood as the all-powerful destroyer, the one whose power is so absolute it terrifies all opposition. And that's what you so-called white people are about to face, man. You're about to face the all-powerful destroyer, the God of so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous that are scattered throughout the four corners of the world, man. It says, demon-like power. Why the heathen say that? From the nation's perspective, Yahweh's power feels monstrous because it's against them and their idols. So going to Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 17, it says, they sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High, to idols whom they knew not, or to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Psalms 96. Psalms chapter 96, verse 5, it says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, and that includes your sweet white Jesus, man. But Yahweh made the heavens through the orders, or I should say, Yahweh made the heavens by giving orders to his son and the elect. Going to Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 10, it says, "But Yahweh is the true power. He is the living power and an everlasting king. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation." That goes for all you heathen nations, man. Going to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 17, it says, "For when men will not believe that the art of a full power," Slakia, I don't know. I almost feel like I need to take my. I gotta take my time. I be getting too excited. It says, "For when men will not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest." Yeah, so who knows the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua? Who has that intimate relationship to know Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua? It would have to be the elect. That's why we stand in boldness. And the spirit of boldness has been manifested upon us, man. Starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. It says, "Reason's heathen label Yahweh as demon-like. His power breaks their reality. Martazarian, plagues that no musician could counter. Canaan, nations hearing of Yasha'Allah's conquests were terrified." Let's get that. This is Joshua chapter 2, verse 9. It says, "And he said unto the men," oh fuck, gotta read slower, bro. It says, "And she said unto the men, I know that Yahweh have given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea through the Suez Canal for you when ye came out of Martazarian, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side, Jordan, Sihon, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts, our minds did melt." They feared. They were going through it. Which that's the spirit that the Most High could put on you, man. Sometimes when people say that another individual is wasting their time, or, you know, they don't understand that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua controls all things, man. There's nothing you could do to do anything else besides what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua got you doing, man. Nothing. And if you're at the point where you have already submitted to him, you gotta roll with the punches, man. You gotta take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and let his will be done, man. Verse 11, it says, and as soon as we had, I was saying, I don't care about if they tripping. Ain't nobody tripping. I don't care. This word got to come out, man. There's sheep that need to be fed. Verse 11, it says, and as soon as we had heard these things, our minds did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. And that's almost like that stupid movie, that new movie Avatar, when they went to that little military base, and the bitch was like, man, you gotta stand, she was telling the man to stand up straight, don't be in fear. You nations are gonna be in fear when we come into power, man. It says, for Yahweh your power, and you know that's just Esau trying to put in his movies that you need to fear him and his inventions, his blessing. You know? And every single time his inventions and his blessings, and even in his own movies, they get destroyed, man. Not to give that movie away, you already know how it goes. Same from the same bag of plots, you know, that all these movies are made from, man. It says, for Yahweh your power, he is a power in heaven above and in earth beneath. Right, so he controls all things. Going back to AI, it says, end times, America sees fire and plagues and thinks it's evil instead of seeing their own wickedness as the cause. Yeah, and that's the mind state of these Edomites, man, because really they don't believe. We so-called white people don't believe in the Bible, man. Verse 2, it says, the gods are weak. True power feels alien and hostile. It says, since their idols can't do real miracles, when they finally see real spiritual force, they categorize it as dark or demonic. That's why Esau's systems label any uncompromising judgment or order as extremist, evil, or terroristic. It says Yahweh controls both peace and evil in the sense of calamity, judgment. But you know, this is Isaiah. Chapter 45, verse 7, it says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. This is further proof that the world doesn't know God, man. It says he creates peace and he creates evil. In other passages, it says he kills and makes alive, man. And we just went through how the heathens referenced him as a demon-like power, man. And if you have a son, your son is going to be just like you. The son is going to be just like the father. So you people don't know the God of the Bible, man. Further proof you're just a damn demon, man. A damn devil. A deceiver. It says, I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. This is Amos chapter 3. Verse 6, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Now, trumpet is like a sound of warning or of alarm or of alarm. Salakia. Right? Shall there be evil, which is a compound word which means bad times. Eve, meaning time. Ill, meaning bad. in a city, and Yahweh have not done it. So going back to AI, it says, since they were taught a soft, one-dimensional God of love only, the true scriptural power appears demonic to them. Yeah, because that Satanism, I call it Satanism, man, because it's contrary to the scriptures. It's adversarial to the scriptures. That Satanism, Christianity teaches you God loves everybody, which is a total lie. It says prophets and plagues frightened them. So going back to 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5, it says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh Shai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. And that's why the prophets, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, are set up, which they profanely commit. To be profane meaning to be outside the temple, outside the truth. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. All the wickedness that our people do because of this damn devil, man, and because of our people's own wickedness. And like I said, if I'm of that ilk, if I'm wicked, if I'm a 2/3, I'd rather be put to death. You know? Otherwise, I'd rather do the right thing, man. You know, which is Ecclesiastes 13 and 12, the whole duty of man. It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And that's the elect. The Most High hears the groanings of the spirits of the elect. It says Revelations imagery, beast, locust, fire, earthquakes, reads like horror to the heathen. But it's just the Most High executing righteous judgment. So demon-like power is really from the perspective of the condemned. To the elect, that same power is salvation, protection, and justice. And I'm going to get justice, man. We all are going to get justice, man. So it goes into summary overlay you can teach with. Martazarian's plagues equals template. Targeted, escalating, and surgical judgments on economy, environment, health, and heirs. America equals spiritual Egypt. Babylon, Sodom will face the same plagues amplified: sword, famine, pestilence, beast, darkness, nuclear fire, and mental delusion. Yahweh as El Sajah, not a soft, generic almighty, but the devastating AI, man. That's a cut. AI be cutting these people, man. Not a so we don't have a soft God, man. Fucking devils, man. It says not a soft generic almighty, but the devastating power who nourishes his own and annihilates his opposers. And Esau, you're the #1 opposer, and guess what he has planned for you, you so-called white people? Extermination. It says heathen perspective. What looks demonic to the wicked is simply righteous power breaking their idols and empire. You know? So with that, I hope at least one brother of the elect was edified. And I'm going to say shalom, man. See you next time.